the villains of this story, the self-proclaimed villains of this story with SOS villains. That's their name, assuming they win their game. But yeah, no. I mean, you said explosive. Robo Ramen is definitely a map when I think of when it comes to explosive. With a Rainmaker explosion on the top, and I'm expecting to see a lot of bombs hit that. Very, very, very aggressive comp. A Carbon, a Splatana, and a mini a Zenny on that team is going to very much take area control and just get kills if possible. Matched up by a Decavitator, a Dread Ringer, and another Carbon. Carbon v Carbon right here. Oh wait, that's V Carbon on the side of Sueno Imposible. The Zipcast one. That you don't actually see that too often, but I do think Zipcast is actually very good on this map. There's a lot of off angles that you can take. Bones right here, moving in, trying to get a kill. Unfortunately, pushed up a little bit too far right there. Also, I was wrong, folks. I can't see the button of Y was blocking the deco thing. That was a Carbon deco. I just didn't see properly. Your boy has glasses for a reason, right here. But I can't see clearly that Sueno Imposible was able to get it down to 63 points, and they maintain control despite Reload taking it for just a moment.
Absolutely, and a really strong control at that. We see that Zimmy front and center pushing Hammy Sammy away from that zone here on the decav. We do see that a lot of the specials are in the back pocket still, as two end up going down on Reload. That's a delayed 3 down on Reload. As Sueno Imposible ends up going up, popping those Sippies into that corridor area right where they want to be. We see that Stamp in that back pocket ready for any unsuspecting person nearby, and with Cinnamon popping that bubble in mid there with that decav, unfortunately does end up going down at the moment there. There are single digits on the clock for Sueno Imposible. Reload has to get in there with that, a knockout in the first game.
Yeah, that was very much the case of the Sueno Imposible being the impossible to stop force, the unstoppable force right there. That the aggression that comp provided really just allowed them to push Reload back, and they weren't able to buy time to do their namesake and get in there. And unfortunately, that we see right here the Decav was able to make it in, and actually with Juke the Stamp just a little bit, which would have provided time if their team didn't all die to that Carbon and Mini pushing up immediately. They both teams did a very good job, but Sueno Imposible was ready for anything that Reload had to throw at them.
And we are going to be going into yet another absolutely volatile map mode here. Clan Blitz Museum d'Alfonsino. Now I'm seeing a lot of different ways to where this bad boy is going to be going. I'm expecting to see that Carbon roller back. I am expecting to see like the usual comp that we see from Reload in these sorts of things, like, you know, the decav. We're going to probably be seeing that, a lot of that, especially because I feel like you can do a lot of really funny things with Bubble on this map, especially in Clan Blitz. I'm expecting to see, like, you know, the funny box being tried, just an absolute assault on the ramp. Just like stereotypical Clan Blitz Museum d'Alfonsino, but like knock it up to like a 10, and that's where I think this match is going to go.
I very much agree. I'm not expecting too much of a comp change on this side of Sueno Imposible. I feel like their aggression will be well maintained. I wonder if Reload will stick with the pen, because they did just sort of get shut down, but pen is very, very good on this map.
Absolutely. And like pen is really good, just like for Clan Blitz in general. It's okay. Pen is a good weapon. Yes, I know, because of the meta, but like Sippy's insanity, once you get it going, I feel like there's excited to see how these teams are going to be playing it out. Now let's see what big of a team comp switch, but I do see one right there glaring on my screen. Actually, several. We see the V Stamper as well as a Squeezer in the mix. That is splatter color screen coming out.
Yeah, you do not see that weapon often right now. Screen is not actually something that you see much in SOS. A lot of people say, either like choose not to or opt out of it entirely. They were able to get several kills, get 2 down right here, provide enough time for their team to get so much eco. 19 clams on their side. They're hoarding the entire wealth of this museum right here. All of the donations are in their hand. Hammy Sammy goes down right there to the stamp. Unfortunately, a very well placed suction bomb is going to stop their Splatana, but they are still able to get the super clam in, but it looks like they're mostly scattered right now. I don't know if they'll be able to get another clam in the basket, but they already have a super ready and raring to go right here and have absolute control over the map. Reload is going to need to do something, but with that splatter color screen coming out, they need to be really careful. I don't think the answer is trying to avoid it. We saw right there, Hammy Sammy went through and was able to get a pick, and the rest of Sueno and Imposible isn't able to push up right now, but they need to do something to get them out of here.
Absolutely. Now, like you said, the eco is absolutely wild here. Sueno Imposible, again, once having 19 clams does unfortunately go down, but there are clams aplenty to be found scattered across that map, just waiting for them to claim and move forward valiantly into that basket of reloads here. Now, we see that squeezer being threatened from Cinnamon. Cinnamon does end up taking down that squeezer as well as the rest of reload, moving on to that spinner, looking to try and get some sort of push going, but there are not enough clams in their possession to get a power clam at all. Now, if worse comes to worse, they do have the pity clam from earlier, but it's best to save that until you actually have another clam so you can pop 2 in at once. And we can see now Cinnamon popping that Zipcaster, looking to try and get some sort of picks as Reload does end up taking that basket area finally, but the picks are coming and they're coming in fast as 3 end up going down. Cinnamon left alone with that power clam.
Yeah, they do the smart thing and retreat right there. You may lose 1 power clam, but you save the other and buy time for the rest of your team right here. Staying alive is more important than you. Obviously, it's staying alive isn't important, but even then, players underestimate how important their life is in a 4v4 shooter right here. We're just seeing the squeezer come in right here. Bones getting 3 right off the bat, looking for the 4th, keeping them away, not allowing the Stamper to get in. Are they going to be able to get it? Yep, that's a wipe right there just from the squeezer. They do manage to get the super clam in. Are they? I don't know if they'll be able to. I feel like this will be similar to the first push where they're not actually able. I eat my own words right there before I can even finish them out. I'll swallow them right there. They may be able to get the points down to 58 before falling back right here. 2 minutes on the clock, counting down right here. Is right now, well, not as insanely dominant as the last game. Sueno and Imposible is at a very controlling lead.
Absolutely. Reload is going to have to get 2 power clams in the basket on their first push if they want to be able to contend with Sueno Imposible's really, like you said, sizable lead. And holy clam blitz! That was a double stamp throw kill on the side of Reload. Sueno Imposible moving up into that area, trying to get into getting deep into Reload side. Reload now 3 down. Once again, we see that power clam just easily sailing into the basket now as the jumps start to come in. Looking like we're going to try and get another couple of clams in there. Not really able to find much as the rest of Reload is back into that basket area. Looking like they're trying to defend as much as they possibly can. The barrier does end up going back up, but not before a couple of picks go down on Sueno Imposible. That foil, I believe that is the foil squeezer, if I remember correctly. If I am not, please correct me. That did get that many kills on that side, less than a minute now, as we can see Sammy here just picking up as many clams as possible. Timmy throwing that booyah bomb, trying to get some sort of purchase on that area.
Oh, this is
we see the first power clam sail in, the second power clam hitting the basket really cleanly here, but they do need a couple more clams in that basket in order for it to count. They really just got to start chucking them in there, and unfortunately, it seems like they do end up whiffing it.
Yeah, no, I respect Toenail trying to put it in Cinnamon, as you said, but they are unable to get it in right there. There's too much ink flying in their face. But right now, for the first time all set, Sueno Imposible is the one that are genuinely on the back foot, trying to wall off with that splatter color screen. A Hail Mary of a stamp throw. They snuck up behind. They're able to get the basket open. Oh my gosh, wonderful fight right there from the Stamper. They are able to get it in 6 points. They need to stop Sueno Imposible's push right now. They can't allow any more claim. No, they get it in 2-0. Sueno Imposible, even in the face of imminent death, they find a way around. They do the impossible.
Sueno Imposible, true to their name, reaching that impossible dream of theirs, sweeping Reload off their feet, 2-0 on the set, kick and Reload out of the Great White Bracket, and moving forward to challenge the top seed of this SOS. What an incredible play! I didn't even see the wiper back there just going behind. We see them just boom, tossing the clam in, Squeezer jumps in, power clam. We see the pencil just tossing those clams in, and at the last possible second, the wiper here throws the last clam into the basket, sealing Reload's fate as, like I said, Sueño Imposible going into the quarterfinals against the SOS villains.
Now, I mean, if there's any one that can defeat the true villains of this tournament, it's the people who have accomplished the impossible right there. Congrats to both teams for making it this far, but only one can continue on. But with that, and after